Are you a creative entrepreneur wanting to know how you can merge your creativity with your actual product or service-based business? Well, today I am joined by Yasmin, who is the founder of Twisted Funky Soul and Twisted Funky Moves. And she's going to be sharing how she is doing this successfully and why she joined the ToK Like a Boss bootcamp to help her facilitate getting this moving forward in 2025. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Yasmin to the stage. Hello, Yasmin.
Hi.
This is take two. We're back. So it's good to see you. Thank you so much for your patience with our little technical issue and error that we had earlier on. But I think we're good with sound now. We're wide for sound. Are we good?
Yeah.
It sounds good. So are you ready for take two?
Yeah, nice
Yes.
practice.
Getting the practice in for the power intro, aren't you, darling? All right, okay. So I want you to share with us who you are, what you do, and thank you, Yasmin, for being here. Over to you.
So I'm Yasmin. I run two brands, Twisted Funky Soul and Twisted Funky Moves. Twisted Funky Soul is all about fun, funky, cheeky, bright apparel. And Twisted Funky Moves is about self-love, empowerment, and encouraging people just to be who they are through dance and movement.
Absolutely love it. You sound amazing and stunning. So how long have you been doing Twisted Funky Soul and Twisted Funky Moves? How long have you been doing that?
So Twisted Funky Moves is really recent. I started 3 months ago, but
Nice.
prior to that, I had a dance school for 7 years. So kind of same but different in a different area. And then Twisted Funky Soul was accidentally created about 3 years ago.
Accidentally. Tell us a bit about the accident then. How did it come about?
So with my dance school, I was fed up of suppliers not being on time, the not quality not being consistent. So I decided that I was going to start printing our uniform, and I brought a vinyl cutter, a heat press, and I was doing the uniforms and little bits and bobs for friends. And I then found out I needed an EpiPen. Couldn't find a pouch anywhere. So I created one myself, and it said "quick stab me in the thigh," which is what you do with an EpiPen. A lady on the train seen it and was like, "Oh, where did you get that from?" I was like, "Oh, I made it." You know, it's like the best
I made
feeling
it
when someone
myself.
asks you that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me. And she was like, "Could you make me one?" And I was like, "I suppose so." So I made her one. She posted it on, I think it was Instagram or Facebook at the time.
Right,
And
okay.
her friends were like, "Oh, I need one of those. I need one of those for my diabetes and things like that." And literally since then, my brand's grown, and now it's become like the chronically ill girls club rather than just
Wow.
t-shirts. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. I love that. I love hearing stories of how entrepreneurs have kind of fallen into what they're doing, but it's always
Yeah.
perfectly aligned with their own personal story and journey and also their creativity. And one of the things that I do love about your brand, Yasmin, is that it is so bright and bold and colorful. It does what it says on the tin. And for some, we were saying this earlier on, for some people, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay because we're not supposed to be everyone's cup of tea. If you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. But
Yeah.
in regards to your brand, which is very outspoken, but I think it gets to the point of what it's supposed to do. But how do you deal with that in terms of opposition, for example, where someone might, and maybe you haven't had this, but do you have people that are like, oh, that's a little bit too racy? Or have you had challenges or opposition to your brand? And how have you dealt with that essentially?
Yeah, so there's been a few things like people on social media that'll be like, "This is not appropriate to be shared here."
Yeah.
People at markets have said, like, why are you encouraging people to stab people?" And I'm like, that's not, you don't get it. Like, let me explain it to you. And I think when you explain it to people, they understand a little bit more. They still might not be completely happy with it or agree
Hmm.
with it or whatever. But as you said, like, that's fine, because through the ToK Like a Boss, I've actually learned that I am not for everybody, and that's
Yes.
fine. Like,
Yes.
I know my people, and my people will find me. And sometimes
Hmm.
my path will cross with people, and we're just not meant to be, and that's fine.
Yes.
Hello, thank you, and
Yes.
move on to the next one. But when you
Yes.
find the people that you're aligned for, it's a beautiful journey. Like, it's an
Yes.
amazing space.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Being confident that you're not supposed to be for everybody, and that when the opposition comes, or when someone says that they don't like what we do, because I know one of the things that I struggled with, and we're going off piste Yasmin, I hope you don't mind. But I know that for me, when I started my business and my brand, I wanted to be liked by everybody. I wanted to
Yeah.
do and be in everything to everybody. And so when I wasn't, or when I had my very first client charge back on one of my programs, I was absolutely devastated. But it's important to be able to stand up on our truth and be really clear about our message so that we are attracting our people, our tribe, and our community. And I think that you're doing that really, really well. So kudos to you for doing that, my dear. Absolutely love it. Just quickly, we've got a few people that's jumping in. We've got Priscilla Holmes, who's part of the Boss It Live Academy, who said good morning. Good morning to you, Priscilla, and welcome everyone that's coming in. Yasmin is here with me today. We're having a good old chat on episode 3 of ToK Talks. Yasmin is the owner and founder of not just Twisted Funky Soul, but also Twisted Funky Moves. And we're chatting about her business, her brand, all the wonderful things that she's doing, and also why she's part of ToK Like a Boss Bootcamp. But before we get onto that, Yasmin, how are you finding the shift of social media at the moment? Like I said, I always like to go off piece because I know for your brand, with it being quite visual in terms of what you're doing, it's the places that you are showing up are the likes of TikTok, but also Instagram. So we know some of the platforms are changing in terms of visibility and reach. How are you navigating the change, or are you not feeling affected or seeing any effects from the changes that are happening?
Massive effect. Like, I could post before and all of my followers plus their followers would see my post on Instagram. And if I wasn't posting, I'd know from my sales, because literally you'd post and then you'd have like 10 sales directed from that post. Now I can post and like 5% of my followers will see it. And it's that kind of battle with yourself. Is my content good enough? Am I talking about the right thing? Am I talking to the right people? And you just kind of fall into this like wormhole. And this is exactly another reason why I joined the bootcamp, because I wanted to find or have more of a direction. Like, who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? What is the point that I want to get across? But also, what information can I take from my customers and other people out there to help me kind of shape what I'm doing? Like, are the products that I'm creating right? Are they what you need? And are they things that you're going to use?
Yeah. And also, when you get that information, it's important to get that data. It's about your messaging, because a lot of the time you have the right products. When I say you, I mean us, generally speaking. You have the right products, but it's about that positioning, and so that it reaches, and the people that we're trying to reach really do understand that we are for them. So, I always talk about the importance of the who you are, the what you do, and the why you do it, and how you're able to help people. So I think that you are really starting to shape up nicely with doing that. And I think that it's one of the things that I would like for you more. And this is not one of the questions. So I definitely want to see more of you doing live, because I think when I first found you, I don't know how we first connected, but when I first started watching your lives, and some of them I used to watch them from the hallway on TikTok, I was like, let me just see what she's doing. And I've always felt that you've got such a big, bright, vibrant personality that there's no confusion in terms of your brand. And I just love your personality, and I just want to see more of you on live stream. But I know that you're very busy, but is there anything that and again, I'm not asking you a question that's on here, I'm cheating a little bit, but in terms of showing up, how do you feel about showing up and going live? Because the reason I'm asking this is because you have to put yourself in front of people. Being someone who is a dance teacher and coach, instructor extraordinaire, that is a lot, because you have to teach people and they're watching all of your moves, and just being able to lead through that. So you have to have a certain level of confidence. So I would assume that would translate quite easily. No?
It's the same but different, like two different worlds. So when I first started going live on TikTok, it was easy because there was no expectations. Nobody knew who I was, what I did, and why I was there. So it was like being who you want to be, basically, just like pretend. And now I feel like I've been on the app long enough. I've created relationships with certain followers and certain people, and there's an expectation from me. So I don't want to let people down, and I know that's not what a live is about, but in my head that's how it feels. So I'm kind of like shutting myself out by not going on, because I'm worried about not meeting people's expectations and
Yeah.
delivering what I think that they want to see,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I actually respond to that, we've got Gosha that's jumped in. Gosha Garner said, lovely to hear you. Thank you very much for joining us on the live today. I think one of the things that I always say about, going live is that it's about people show up for you, the person. And so
Yeah.
if we are just showing up and we're being who we are, and we're focused on the relational side of things and creating the experience. And that doesn't mean jumping through hoops or being anything other than just yourself. That's more than enough. Everything else will come as a byproduct of that. So just simplify it. I always say to anyone who is struggling with going live, just don't overthink it. Don't think who you have to be. You have to be perfectly polished. And are you, saying the right things perfectly? No one expects you to be perfect. I trip up on my dentures all the time, but I'm just looking forward to seeing more of that amazing energy from you coming through lives in 2025. It's time to thrive. All right, Yasmin, I won't keep you for much longer. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of stuff, shall we, today? Let's get to the meat and potatoes. So the first question I have for you is, I don't know why I'm doing that. What was your biggest takeaway? Someone's laughing at me. I don't know who it is. What was your biggest takeaway that you got from the ToK Like a Boss bootcamp? Is there anything that in particular stood out for you? Thank you.
Yeah, so I will say this, probably remember this forever, but it was just I'm not sure if it was the first or the second unit, but when we were learning about who you're talking to. So just creating that, like the perfect customer, and thinking who they are, what they do, where they live, where they work, how much money they've got to spend on kind of extras, and just directing my content to that one person. Like that has helped me massively, because I was talking to everybody and I wanted everybody to listen to me.
Yes.
And it's even translated into my dance class. When people were coming for a first class, I was like going above and beyond and being like really like stressing about how I was talking to people and things like that. And now I'm like, right, this is me, this is my class is amazing, but I know it's not for everybody. And before I'd be like really sad if they didn't come back, and now I'm kind of like, oh, that's great, it was nice to meet you, like on to the next one, and trying to find the people that I vibe with, basically.
Yes.
So yeah, sorry, that
No,
long
don't
answer.
worry about it. No, I love that. It's the power of speaking to the one. I was actually saying this to a coaching client earlier on today, because we do want to, and I think as women as well, but generally speaking, we want to be loved by all. And if you are a servant leader and you wear your heart on your sleeve, you can tend to lean into that, and then your feelings do get hurt when it's like, oh no, I did everything I could and you didn't like. Sometimes it's just that somebody might need just that boost. They come to the class, they just needed that in the moment. You did your job. I did my job. I say this all the time. If people come to my lives and they don't convert to the next step, at the end of the day, I still want you to leave feeling like you've got something that's going to help you in that moment, and you can apply it. You don't have to ever pay me a penny. And I think when we detach ourselves from that, that's when things can really kind of just, we can just go so far, because it's just like, I'm focused on my why, I'm focused on what I'm doing, and then everything else is a bonus. So I think you're doing really great. Gosha said, great live. I'd love to give my book to your lovely guest to help her with her fear. Thank you very much, Gosha. I appreciate you. We'll message you at the end. Bless her heart. She's got a wonderful, wonderful book. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question, Yasmin. How has the boot camp impacted your approach to going live? We say live on TikTok, but just generally speaking, how has it impacted you? Thank you.
I'm doing things with more intent, so I'm not just I'm posting less, but I'm thinking about what I'm posting. So before I'd be like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted today, like whatever, just grab some pictures and put them with some music or something ridiculous. Now I'm thinking about the things that I've learned in the boot camp. Who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? What benefit are they getting from me posting this? And what do I want to be the outcome? Am I posting this for a sale? Am I posting this to build a community? Like, what is my end goal? And it's really helped me to kind of focus on not just creating content for the sake of creating content.
Yes.
It's having a meaning.
Yes, because I think that's what can happen with social media and the way it is culturally kind of getting people to the mindset. You have to keep posting, you have to be on that hamster wheel. And I think that that's just an absolute mistake. I haven't posted on my TikTok feed since November. Absolutely. And I'm not worried about it. Am I posting my stories consistently? Am I going live? Absolutely. But I'm not going to be a slave to the algorithm. I'm going to do things with intention. I'm glad that you are doing that. So well done. You're saying all the wonderful things. I'm loving it. I don't even know where I am in the questions. Okay, moving on to the next question. Can you share, if at all, there was a memorable moment or success story that you have since doing the boot camp? If there's anything you can think of, no pressure, no pressure.
So I think my success story would be what I mentioned before about it translating into my dance classes. So hosting a class, running a class, new clients come, and them not returning, and me not feeling like I'd let anybody down or I'd failed. I feel like when people do stay, they're staying for the right reasons, and the community that I'm trying to build over there is the same as my business. I want people to want to be there and to kind of enjoy things, and we all gel together because we've got the same like interests.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about building community, these things take time, and you just have to, and I'm speaking to myself here and everyone else that's watching, if you're thinking, oh, you know, I've got my business, I want to build a community, it takes time. And don't despise the humble beginnings, because what we want to be doing is bringing the right people into our ecosystem. Because social media will make us think it's viral, volume, you've got to go. Listen, you don't need all of that. You can have your small, tiny, but mighty army. And as long as it's intentional, it's purposeful, that will have longevity, that will have success, that will have greater impact than if you're just doing something for the sake of it. Or just like, oh, you know, because a lot of the example, slightly different, but it's on kind of on point. Facebook groups. People think that you need to have a large, massive Facebook group or being part of those groups is what's going to bring success. And to be honest with you, I've noticed from the communities that I've run over the years, the small, tiny but mighty ones, the ones that are more engaged, more dialed in, people then turn up and then they then go to the next level, whatever that stage is. So we don't need massive things. We don't. We've got somebody else that's coming. Hello, Atlanta. Welcome. And we've got Priscilla. She has said, I pay someone to post for me. So Priscilla's got somebody. Priscilla's doing all the things. She's got to work around. We do love you, Priscilla, in the academy. I'll see you in there a bit later. Have you met Priscilla? You haven't been to any of the sessions. No. I have to say, Yasmin, again, this is not on the actual questions. Your feedback, the fact that you are, bless you, not able to make any of the sessions because they're always in the evening. We're going to be putting on some day sessions, some afternoon sessions, because we need to have you there. It's like, Yasmin's missing because she can't get to any of the sessions. Like, so have Yasmin there. You would have met Priscilla at the last one if you were able to make it, but it's all good. It's all good. All right. So let's have a look. Which question are we at now? All right. So the next question is, what advice, as I've just hit my hands, what advice would you give to someone who's considering joining the next cohort? So cohort 2 of the bootcamp, which is starting in the next few weeks. What advice would you give?
Don't consider, just do it. So
I
was on the fence, and I think I messaged you the day of today, like, oh no, I need to come in. Please let me in.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. It was the day of.
It's an investment, and I know, like, when as a business owner we worry about money and spending a big sum of money, because it's like, what are you going to get from it? Are you going to get a return? But you can't think of it like that. It's the knowledge that you're going to gain. The community is absolutely amazing. I mean, your cohort might not be as good as mine, but I'm sure Janine will rally some troops. It's just amazing. Like, I highly recommend it. And I know people are worrying, don't worry about the money. It's one of those things where, what can you have less of so that you can afford to do it? Because you need to do it. And if you are worried about when you're going to post on TikTok, who you're talking to, how to kind of structure your lives and things like that, it's the best place to learn. And as you know, Janine's got a lot of years of knowledge. And also the people that you meet in the group, like some of them that will be messaging on TikTok, will be messaging on Facebook Messenger. You see someone's post, you like it, you comment on it, you engage with it, and it's just a really nice community feel. So do it.
Yes,
Definitely.
thank you. And I want to say as well, Yasmin, thank you so much for being part of the community and really kind of getting behind the ethos of what we're trying to create. And I think that comes because that's something that you value yourself for your own community. But I see you, we see you showing up. You show up not just for me, you show up for yourself, which by default is important. You're showing up for me to support, let me know about my micro, give me micro. I'm like, let's I was just like, oh. And then also showing up for other community members, because that's one of the things that's really important to me. And I encourage you and everybody else is that you not only create a community of like-minded individuals under the remit of what you're doing, but you really foster the ethos of relationships between each other, and why it's important to support each other. Because I think it's reciprocity. If you're somebody who always supports, then you're going to get that back by default, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So big things to come for you. I'm really excited. And I've said this before, but I'll say it on live. Whatever you need for me to do, whatever I can do to help and support you with the growth of your brand. I know, where are you based, by the way? Don't say it specifically. I don't know who's that on these last dates. Well, I'm obviously in London, but where are you based?
Near Birmingham.
Oh,
near
okay.
Black Country.
Okay. The country. All right. We'll figure it out in any case, but I'm here for you. Anyway, final question I have for you is how has there you go. We already answered the question. I even forgot what question it was, Yasmin. I was like, okay, here we are. How has the community and support to the bootcamp helped you with your live, your business journey? You pretty much said it.
Yeah, amazing. I think that's probably if I had to say like the top 3 things about the bootcamp community would be number 2. Because owning a business is quite lonely, especially if you work from home and you don't have any staff or anything with you. You can feel quite alone. I don't know how else to put it. So it's really nice to have women that are in a similar situation to you, whether their business is 1 year old or 10 years old. They understand the struggles, they understand what you've been through, what you're going through, and what might be coming next. So it's nice to be able to have a group of women in a similar position where you could just message them and be like, oh my gosh, I need help with this. And I know that any of the women that was in that group, I could message and say, do you mind having a call or a chat for 5 minutes? And they'd say, yeah. Like, you have really, really created something wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. And absolutely, I want to say to you as well publicly, as we've got some people that jumped in. Michaela's jumped in the live. Welcome, Michaela. I want to say to you, all of the feedback that I've gotten from the bootcamp has been just absolutely amazing. I've been actually blown away. I don't know why, but I was surprised. Maybe because it was the first cohort, and obviously it's a learning point. It's constantly we need to learn to evolve. How can we be the best if we're not getting the feedback? But I just want to thank you for your feedback, because you were really detailed in giving me some really useful pointers that have influenced cohort 2. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I'm fostering for future cohorts is the fact that I know that community is very important, as you've mentioned. And so whilst we all want to have the information and the learning, what makes it more impactful is when people have people to come alongside them. So the accountability, the group sessions, which is obviously you missed the group sessions. So yes, I know I definitely said, do you know what, there has to be a variation in the times to meet with everybody, to make sure, because I want to make sure that people have the thing that really they thrive on and really move forward with. So thank you so much for your feedback on that. And so the final thing I want to say to you is, are there any impactful closing statements or words of inspiration that you want to give anyone who is listening? Because we're streaming this live across Facebook and also the Boss It Live Creators Community on YouTube, but it's going to be restreamed to some other platforms a little bit later. But this is now just you. This is not about the boot camp. It's not about working with me. It's just you, Yasmin, the owner, founder, CEO of Twisted Funky Soul, Twisted Funky Moves. What would you want to share?
I think for me, and probably something that I wish somebody could have told me a long time ago, is you are you. There's nobody like you. And you're not going to be for everybody, but that's okay. And just shine bright, because there are a whole world of people out there that are looking for you. You just need to find them. And Absolutely.
I love that. You're fast becoming my little star student, because I used to say this on my earlier coaching call, the client, that I used to have a closing statement of inspiration on my lives. And I used to say this whole big speech. I won't go into it now. One of the things that I used to say is that no one can do you better than you. So go out there, create your influence, make an impact one live video at a time. It's one video, it's one post, it's one set of stories, it's one live stream, just one at a time, because that's all that it takes. That's all that it takes. And sometimes I think we don't realize that our gift, which is our superpower, has the ability, if we show up, to change the world. So I just want you to know you are a force to be reckoned with. My eyes will be closely glued to you, irrespective of whether you work for me or not, because I just absolutely love what you're doing. Absolutely love what you're doing. So just keep doing it. And are you going to be doing any like dance specific events as well? Because I know obviously we're talking about the boot camp, but are you going to be hosting any in-person events or workshops or anything like that you're planning for in 2025?
Yes. So we've got obviously my weekly classes.
Yeah.
I plan to hold, I think I'm going to try quarterly workshops of a few hours with a few different instructors offering dance, Pilates, wellness, and kind of just empowerment sessions. I've already spoke to some people about that. And also the plan, Janine, is to create an online portal so people can dance with me from wherever they are.
I love that.
I've said it now, so
yes. Listen,
it's out there.
Everyone, we've heard it, and I want you to post it to Yasmin in the group, right? In both in the Academy and also Creators Group. Accountability, because I love that. I'm going to be asking about it. I'm like, what are we doing with that? Where are we at with that? That's amazing. People are going to love that. So when are you looking at doing that? Is that planning for 2025 and to launch into this year or beyond? Maybe I'm asking too much.
This year. So my kind of toxic trait is I'm very impulsive.
Right.
So if I have an idea, that idea is happening, and it's happening not later now.
Okay,
so
nice.
Good. I have to rein myself in to think, right, we need to do this not perfectly but properly. So it needs to be kind of, I want to set it up so that my online portal, I've got at least like a month's worth of content for people, so that once you've subscribed, you've got something there, not an empty kind of portal. So I'm giving myself until the end of March to have filmed and created the portal.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Well done. Well, we've got Michaela saying I'm in. You've already got I'm in. That is excellent. So Yasmin, we've got a question from Donna. And by the way, guys, if any of you have any questions for myself or Yasmin, please feel free to put it into the chat. So Dion said, thank you for this helpful chat. How can I find you both on TikTok? So not just TikTok, Yasmin, how can we find you across social media? Thank you.
So I am Twisted Funky Soul, Twisted Funky Moves on all platforms. I have been, as from last week, I've created a YouTube called Twisted Funky Yaz, and I'm in the process of changing my TikTok to Twisted Funky Yaz. But because I've got a TikTok shop, it's taking a little bit longer than I expected.
Yes.
So Twisted Funky Soul, everywhere, you'll find me.
Yes. I love that. And just having your unified brand. So guys, you've heard it first. And also what I'll say, Yasmin, at the end of the live, if you could just put everything into the comments, link it, and then I'll add into the YouTube description as well. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to what you're doing. So any of your product services that you want to signpost people to, and for those of you that want to find out about what Yasmin does, her apparel, etc., you'll be able to click the description on YouTube and also in the comment section. Yasmin, it's been so wonderful talking to you guys. Hasn't it been wonderful listening to Yasmin on episode 3 of ToK Talks? We have been chewing the fat about a variety of different things, and it's just been great hanging out with you, Yasmin. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Loved it.
Thank you. So just stick around. Don't drop off. I'm going to put you in the green room, but I'm coming back to you in a moment. So guys, that is it for episode 3. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did as well. Make sure that you are connecting with Yasmin. As I said, we will be sharing everything where you can find her across social media and on YouTube. Make sure that you definitely go and subscribe to her YouTube channel because we're trying to push her to grow on YouTube as well. That's it for today. We will be back again next week with another member of cohort 1. Perpetina will be joining me next week. So make sure that you definitely stay tuned. And if you want to find out more about the ToK Like a Boss bootcamp, the doors are open now. That will also be linked. It's a 4-week group coaching program. Yasmin has told you herself why you definitely should do it. So don't waste any time. Sign up today, secure the early bird discount. Okay, have a great day and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.